This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond, and welcoming to you a new sports catastrophe on this day, March 8th, 1971. There was a battle of the Titans. It was Ali Frazier. For the first time ever in your life, these two heavyweight Titans are going to battle for gold at Madison Square Garden. It happened 50 years ago. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Yes, that's right. Ironically, on a Monday, because this is being taped Monday, March 8th, 2021. Monday, March 8th, 1971, 50 years ago. They call it the fight of the century. It was the match between the WBC/WBA champion, Smoker Joe Frazier, 26-0, 23 KOs, and the ring/lineal champion, Muhammad Ali, 31-0 with 25 KOs. It was regarded as the biggest boxing match in history and the most anticipated sporting event ever. It was the first time that two undefeated fighters fought each other for the title. So basically, the bout had a lot of appeal for many Americans, even non-sport fans. So Frazier coming into the match on March 8th, 1971 was 26-0. Ali was 31-0. But Frazier had more KOs in his wins, 23 out of 26. Ali, 25 out of 31. Frazier was only 5'11 and a half. So he's basically my height. And Ali was 6'3". Wow. Frazier 205, Ali 215. And it was amazing. There's a lot of significance in all that. But Ali came back because basically Ali didn't want to go into the armed forces. He had his title stripped because he didn't want to be in the armed forces. Ali said that he was a Muslim and didn't believe in fighting and all that. He had no problems with the Viet Cong and all that. Now, it's questionable whether they were going to put him in army training just for a show or for basic, or if they're going to give him something to do, or basically it was just for the cameras. But anyway, Ali didn't like that. And Ali couldn't fight in many places in the U.S. after that. Ringside seat were $150 to this match at Madison Square Garden, equivalent to $947 in today's dollars. Wow. Each man was guaranteed $2.5 million, and that's amazing. This is 50 years ago. The Garden had a sellout crowd of 20,455, which brought a $1.5 million gate, which is pretty good. Prior to his enforced layoff, Ali had uncommon speed and dexterity. However, the problem was that in the fight before the Frazier one, Ali struggled during his TKO of Oscar Bonifena. Frazier had a good left hook and was tenacious and all that. Even though he had hypertension, he was in top form. Basically, it was interesting. There were a lot of celebrities and all that, from Norman Mailer to Woody Allen. Frank Sinatra didn't get a ringside seat, but he took photographs for Life magazine instead. Well, Nelson Mandela talked about how good the fight was, even though he was president in South Africa. Burt Lancaster was a color commentator for this closed circuit broadcast. And the other commentators were Don Dunphy, the play-by-play, and Archie Moore. Basically, it was sold to and broadcast by closed circuit to 50 countries in 12 languages. We have ringside reporters to an audience estimated 300 million people, which was amazing. However, there were some riots as some technical issues interrupted the broadcast in several cities in the third round. And although no live radio coverage was allowed under the terms of the promotion, pathetic, the Mutual Radio Network did broadcast the fight, with Fan Patrick and Charles King providing-run-by-round summaries when they came over the wire services. Arthur Mercante Sr. was the referee, and he was huge. The fight exceeded its hype and went the 15 rounds and all that. So basically, it was a huge fight. And the worst part was that for Ali is that usually he doesn't get knocked down. Frazier put Ali on the canvas in the 15th round. And basically, Frazier had to win. He won by unanimous decision. The scorecard didn't have points. It just went by rounds who won each round. The referee's scorecard said Frazier 8 out of 15 rounds. Bill Recht said 11. One of the judges, Bill Recht, had 11 to 15 for rounds, and Artie Adela 9-6. So basically, he got it by unanimous decision. It was amazing. And all of that. Lots of people. BBC One had the fight watched by 27.5 million in the UK, which was half the population. However, even though Frazier got Ali's belt, he would still defend. Unfortunately, though, almost 2 years later, on January 22nd, 1973, he was KO'd by George Foreman in the second round in Kingston, Jamaica. Ali refused to publicly admit defeat and sought to define the outcome in public's mind as a white man's decision. Unfortunately, he split 2 belts with Ken Norton in '73. Why would he lose to Ken Norton? It was viewed as someone on a downhill slide. However, Ali would have a rematch with Frazier at Madison Square Garden in January 1974. And then the Thrilla in Manila, Philippines. That was basically the third and final time Ali took on Frazier, and Ali easily took down Frazier. By the time of the rematches, the social climate settled down, and then Vietnam War came to an end. Many dismissed the notion that Ali was a traitor, and he was once again accepted as an American hero. People who supported Frazier March 8th so that they could see Ali get beat had no use for Joe on March 9th, as basically Ali's reputation grew and Frazier's were smaller for some reason, without either fighting representing the social divide in the country. Basically, the second and third fight did not have the hype of the first. Ali would beat George Foreman to regain the heavyweight title in the Rumble of the Jungle, becoming only the second person, the first being Floyd Patterson, to regain the heavyweight title after losing it. It was amazing and all that. So yeah, so Ali Frazier 2 happened in January 1974 at Madison Square Garden, January 28th. Ali would face Frazier and would clinch more time, would be in a clinch more than you would think. Ali won by unanimous decision. However, there was a bit of a problem before their super fight in '74. 5 days before the rematch, Ali and Frazier visited ABC studios in New York City to review their first fight. Ali decided to call Frazier ignorant for mentioning the hospital, as Frazier spent a month in the hospital after the first fight. And basically, they were in a fight on the studio floor. Thankfully, though, the studio crew calmed them down. So anyway, there was a huge fight. Ali nearly lost it, but basically he clinched too much. Ali would win. One judge had Ali 7 rounds, 7-4-1. One judge said 7-5 for Ali by rounds, and Perez 6-5-1 for Ali. And then the third and final bout was the Thrilla in Manila, October 1st in Cubao, Philippines, October 1st, 1975. It was named as the Philippine Coliseum for this match. Ali won by TKO after Frazier's cornerman said that Frazier was just not himself after the 14th round. The contest name is derived by Ali's rhyming boast that the fight would be a killa and a frilla and a chilla when I get that gorilla in Manila. Obviously, I shouldn't really say gorilla and all that. So it was big. It was a big and brutal and all that. And HBO had over 500,000 pay-per-view buys this. The global TV audience was 1.11 billion people. So yes, so basically it was weird. President of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos, basically wanted to have it in Manila to put attention on the Philippines as a great nation, despite the fact that he declared martial law 3 years earlier, 1972. The worst part for Ali is that he had a mistress, Veronica Porsche, and he introduced Veronica as his wife to Ferdinand and Abdullah Marcos. His wife was so angry, she flew to Manila and basically had a showering match in his hotel suite. There was a lot of speculation and all that. Some say that Ali won because the ring size was bigger and smaller gloves and all that, 8-ounce gloves. The ring temperature was 49 Celsius, which is amazing. And of course, in order to accommodate the international viewing audience, the fight took place at 10 a.m. All that. It was like huge, all that. Ali's basically used his robo-dope and got Frazier. And Frazier, the fight was even through 14 rounds, but Frazier basically quit and all that. However, the Thrilla and Manila fight actually had a big legacy because it was the pioneering use of communication technology, as HBO became the first TV network in history to deliver a continuous signal via satellite by broadcasting the Thrilla and Manila. This revolutionary event, linking satellites with turned cable television from a retransmitter to a program provider. I did not know that. Amazing. So anyway, yeah, Ali and Frazier had 3 brutal fights, and they could have gone either way, which is amazing to talk about. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Ado.